Good morning. 9:47 a.m. here on Labor Day Monday. Yeah, today is a day off to recognize labor. Don't wear your white pants, or is it? Can you wear your white pants? I don't know what the history of that is. It's something to do. Well, you can't wear white pants after a Labor Day or something like that. I don't know. Some weird, ridiculous thing. I don't know. Anyhow, a lot of people say, well, fall doesn't happen until September 22nd. No, it's happening now. It's now. Today, it's like a fall day. It's chilly out. It's 12 degrees, I think, Celsius. It's the perfect fall day. It's sunny out, little bit of clouds, 12 degrees. Perfect. Goodbye, summer. I'm not a summer person. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the summer. It's great and everything, but I hate when it gets so friggin' hot. Humid. Humidity is a killer here. It's not even real heat. It's just humidity. It's unbearable at times. And I hate air conditioning. It's great to have it, but I hate it. It's not good for you. You got to get outside, get some fresh air. But anyways, welcome. Figured I'd come in here for a little bit this morning, doing a little bit of editing, working on the fourth episode of the Dark Woodlot. Things are turning into talk about cold. Yes, we're getting into the cold part of the series, if you will, and things kind of heat up a little bit. Things kind of get really weird. And speaking of the Woodlot, we're going in and we're filming three more episodes, probably the final three episodes. Who knows? The final three episodes this coming October. So probably early October. We will be going in and finalizing the series. Closing a lot of the gaps and everything else. There's just so much I haven't put in yet. There's just so much. And again, a lot of bonus stuff will be coming out on it. Oh, look at that pumpkin spice latte. Yeah. I love the fall. It's my favorite time of the year. And I don't drink coffee much. I'm not a coffee drinker. I used to be, not anymore. Now, that's it, really. Pumpkin spice. That's it. But yeah, it's the time of the year that, you know, for years before we became, you know, domestic. Not, I don't want to say domesticated. We were already starting to become intelligent. You know, we were starting to. We still believed in paganism. A lot of us in paganism. You know, the environment around us. We didn't really have. I mean, we did have organized religion, but I mean, it really wasn't. You still have that certain paganism, that line of paganism underlining it, and you didn't want to let go of it. And a lot of the traditions that we still hold on today derive from that sort of line of paganism, that old world belief system. And this time of the year, the fall, autumn, is no different than any of the others. And it's based on harvest, really. I mean, when you harvest the last crops before the winter, before things die, and you would have to store these crops. to feed yourself and your family and so on throughout the winter. If you were in an area where it became very cold, very like winter like. And who knows, this year are we gonna have like a mini freaking ice age? Yeah, they keep saying that, they're talking about global warming and stuff like that, but now you've got other scientists saying, no, we're due because of the cycle, we're due for this mini ice age. Mini ice age. Which one is it? Which one is it? You know what the problem is? They don't fucking know. They don't know. They just don't know. They can dig into the archives, the weather archives, and historical sort of memos that these people kept over the years. But honestly, you just don't know. You don't know. We don't know. We can't predict Mother Earth. We just can't. And what's going to happen. And obviously, you have these scientists saying one thing and then they're saying another thing. It's just to me, it's just politically driven. Control mechanisms. I mean, yeah, these cycles that we're experiencing now, these extreme, hey, fine. These extreme weather patterns that we've had the last few years, especially this year. This year's been pretty extreme. Is this a natural? This is a natural cycle of the earth. But does man have something to do with it? Is man speeding it up? Are we speeding it up? I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think that we have the capability? I mean, do you really think that we have sped this cycle up? We've made it worse because of the carbon emissions. But I mean, if there was no carbon emissions, how would the trees survive? The Earth's natural filtration system, trees, trees, and they've said this for I don't know how many times. Like here in Canada, there's so many fucking trees, and they filter the carbon dioxide, whatever. Literally, a lot more than we're omitting. So they say, but on the other hand, they're saying, well, no, that's not true. We're making it worse. And it's interesting that you're seeing an awful lot of, you know, forest fires, a lot of them, massive fires over the last couple of years, especially across Canada and the US, killing the trees off, like literally thousands of acres of trees, destroying. I mean, you look in South America and you look at the jungles that they're literally tearing down to build. I mean, they built that soccer arena in the middle of the Brazilian fucking jungle, the Amazon. And now it's sitting there wilting away. Why? Why? You killed something major. And now you're going to reap the rewards of that kill. And it's something you may not want. It's something you don't want. Yes, the Amazon will eventually reclaim it, but that's only if they'll leave it alone. And they have pretty much. I mean, they don't, as far as I know, they don't even use it. And that's the thing. Mother Earth will reclaim something that man has destroyed. I mean, it's a given. You look at abandoned areas all over the place. Nature reclaims it. And within so many years, it's almost like non-existent. I mean, it's great. Urban explorers will tell you. You look at some of these places that they go into, these old farmhouses and warehouses and whatever that have been abandoned for years, and you start to see the cycle, the natural cycle of reclamation, nature reclaiming it, right? That's what happens. But here we are. We're gearing off into a stupid rant. Hey, Tim, how are you? Good to see you. But anyways, this is the best time of the year, and I know here in Canada and in the U.S. down south, it becomes a big hoopla, commercial hoopla, and it goes like crazy, insane. But me, the way I look at it from the sort of the traditional standpoint, the pagan sort of the harvest aspect of things, the dying sort of season, you know, the trees, the leaves turning, uh, their autumn colors, and so on and so on. The colors of fall, before their impending doom. It's like, you've only got a little bit more time before you're going to be twigs in that wintry cold wind. Hey, Night Owl, how are you? Welcome. Wintry, those bare twigs in winter, whistling in that cold, dark wind. That's what happens. But we like to see the foliage before that, the progression of that dying sort of doom called autumn. And I know it's not like that everywhere in the world. I get it. Here in the northern above the equator here in North America, you have that. I mean, the further south you go, obviously towards the equator, it becomes, tropical. And they still celebrate it down there in the US, but it's just not the same, because the leaves don't really change. It's stays status quo. But then as you travel north, you start to see the progression, and in the environment around you, the trees, the leaves turning orange, red, and eventually brown and falling off, dying everywhere. It's an annual thing, obviously. But don't worry, it's going to be back next year. And that's a good thing about it. I mean, for now. Nice. Yeah, I know. And again, when you look at some of the sort of the traditions that people still follow now, they come out of Ireland. The pagan sort of rituals, Samhain, and so on and so on, are deep rooted in that part of the world and spread out as the people spread out in the parts of Europe and the parts of North America. When they came over here and started colonizing, North America and South America. Of course, down south it's a little different because it's more Spanish and cultural sort of meaning. Then you have like Day of the Dead, celebrations. When you have sort of like a merger of two cultures, uh, you know, local uh, local cultures that were conquered by the Spanish, but yet they left that mark, and it's still, oozes to this day. It's still there. I mean, the traditions are still there, you know, even though mainstream religions have blanketed them for years, they still manage to survive to this day, and now starting to thrive a little bit more now, coming out of, I don't want to say coming out of the woodwork. They haven't, but now it's becoming more accepted again, because you don't have that sort of dictatorship of, organized religion. We must there must be a transition to these, Catholicism and so on, and Christianity and blah blah blah. I mean, it's there, don't get me wrong, it's dominant still, but you still have those paganistic aspects of how we look at things all over the world. It's still there. They're still there. They're a part of Christianity. Absorbed these things and try to make them their own, and they did. When you look at, certain things that we celebrate here in the Western world, and in parts of Europe and so on and so on. Christmas, Halloween, Samhain, Thanksgiving's a little different, but it's still, over here, Thanksgiving was sort of, the early settlers of North America giving thanks, to the native Indians who lived here, who provided them and showed them how to and what to plant and grow here in North America. And if it wasn't for them, most of these early settlers would have died of starvation or some other, and they did, And it was likewise because, I mean, a lot of the diseases that these early European settlers brought here were killing the natives because there was no immunity, and they traded, everything from cigarettes, fire sticks, alcohol, and diseases were traded off. And a lot of these English and a lot of these other European settlers would take them back to their homeland and would bring them here. You know, yeah. Let me just put that up. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And but today, in this day and age where we have pretty much everything is commercialized, right? They see an opportunity and they run with it, and it usually happens, right? No matter what. Halloween is no different. Halloween is no different. The fall is no different. I mean, it's so commercialized now. People just tend to forget about the simplest things in life. Simplest parts of this season. You know what you experience when you just go for a fucking hike down a trail in the middle of the fall. The absolute stunning beauty all around you. Most people just don't care. They're totally stunned to that beauty because it doesn't matter. They don't really care. I just have to go for my run. I just have to go for a walk. I got to get my calories. Got get their Apple Watch on. I hate those things, by the way. I hate them. I hate things keeping track. Yeah, your phone takes track of you too, but it's like you see all these people with these watches, and they're constantly looking at them at every message or whatever beep that it provides, and you're like, "Ugh, seriously, pay attention to around you. Look at the beauty. Absorb it while you can, because realistically, you may not be here next year for the next one, and that's, hey, it's a scary thought, but it's true. You never know. You never know. Life is short. It is short. Blink of an eye. It really is. When you think about it, your life is pretty much in a blink of an eye because time just flies so fast. So that's why you take the time to absorb your environment, things around you. When nature, when oh my god, I sound like a fucking tree hugger. Sorry. All right, screw that. Anyways, yeah, it's my favorite time of the year. It's my favorite time of the year, and I do try to absorb as much of it as possible. Taking time off work. I mean, I take a lot of time off work this time of the year. I Yeah, I buy into the whole commercial bit. I dressed my house up with props and everything. And again, I will share all that with you guys when it's done this year. I will give you the virtual walkthrough again, like it did last year. And yeah, I mean, and this is when we start the new season. In fact, we just celebrated the 16th anniversary of Nocturnal Frequency Radio, which was pretty cool. I mean, it was kind of quiet, 16th season or 16th anniversary. We're ramping up for the 17th season, which is in this Sunday. Wow. This Sunday. We're gonna have hold on a sec. We're having Dustin Wade on from the Wade Manor, which is like a haunted, paranormal, occult museum, and apparently it's haunted. So we're going to get his take on all that. Hey, Daniel, how are you? And we like I've been going nuts with guests. In fact, we're going to have on the 22nd. I haven't got it ready yet. Hey, Liam, how are you? Yeah, go ahead, Daniel. I'll give you permission as long as whatever you fucking predict is good. Uh, exactly. But today, for me, I don't know. I don't look at that. To me, autumn starts now. For me, and I know a lot of people. You know, just the mode, getting into it and feeling it. Anyways, what? Oh yeah. So September 22nd, we're having Steve Higgins on. Whose new book, The Paranormal Encyclopedia, is out now. He's going to be on the show on the 22nd, which is going to be pretty cool. Yes, till December, when everything's dead. Yeah, till the September 22nd. Steve Higgins is going to be on. I'll have that up here soon. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the book looks cool. I ordered it on Amazon. And I've been kind of looking into Steve's background, kind of a sort of a skeptical kind of look, and that's cool. I mean, you have to be skeptical. So, but this book, I mean, you've seen Matt Secret Vault Matt uh, uh, promoting it and talking about it, and he picked it up, and it's got a lot of shit in it. A lot of stuff, a lot of terminology, a lot of, you know, things, I mean, pareidolia, explaining to you exactly what that is. Many people, oh, whoa, what's that? What's pareidolia? I mean, the fact that, you're seeing things that, shapes and so on, and things aren't really there. It's just your mind is sort of fixated, and it forms a shape. Like when you look in the clouds and you say, "Oh, look at that elephant in the cloud. That cloud looks like an elephant." Pareidolia. It's like, oh, look at that face in the window. Oh my God, there's something, and it's so. I find it so comedic, and I swear to God, I will have to show more examples of this. People who fucking who will post something online in some social thing, I don't know, and they take a picture of this old house or whatever, and they center in on this one window and say, "Hey, look at, there's a man staring at us," and there's nothing there. It's simply the shadowing, the lighting, or whatever that is giving that perception. But people buy into it. You look at the comments. Oh my God, yeah, you see them. Oh my God, it's demonic. Oh, as soon as they get into the demonic shit, seriously. Thank you, Fight. It's hilarious. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah, like the face on the curtains. Things that people think they see, and yet people run with it. They run with it like it's reality. It's paranormal. Oh my God, I've got proof of the paranormal. God, just think how rich we'd all be if it was real. I mean, but hey, don't get me wrong. There are people who are getting rich off this. Very rich. That are throwing out, stuff to you, making you believe that something's paranormal. And people buy it. Oh my God, look at it. It is paranormal. It's paranormal. Nothing paranormal about it. Nobody wants to take the time to explain anything either anymore, because when you try to explain, you try to rationalize, they jump all over you. Stop doing that. You're ruining the fun. No, I'm telling you what it really is. You know, it's like exactly, exactly. Yep. And people will like, oh my God, the religious sort of aspects. Oh my God, people around the world. It's a sign. It's a sign he's coming. You've been fucking evil. Confess all your sins. We saw Jesus. Toast. In toast. And that stuff comes out of the woodwork all the time. All the time. All the time. People will look at their latte and go, and when they put the spice on top, oh my God, look it looks like a face. I've got a haunted latte. Yeah. But you guys have been some of you guys, a lot of you guys have been following the show for a while, and know the story about this room. This room has had some unusual activity over the years, and I think it all stems back to my little. Hey, Safari, how are you? Good to see you, buddy. Always good to see you. I'm doing well. How about you? My little army chest down here. Let me just right down there. That guy right there. That little black box, right? Now, I'm thinking, out of all the things that have been going on in this room, I think kind of stem towards that box came from an old antique shop in the US in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, wow, the box is a pretty neat box. Could use it for some storage, small things and stuff. And ever since I bought this box and brought it home, we brought it home, and strange things have happened here. And I've told you a few things about them. I mean, I've showed you, right? Like, well, one thing was on camera, a couple of years ago. You can find through if you go through the archives, you could see it. And there was one night, like I have DVDs and Blu-ray in there right now, And there was one day I came up here. I came up here, and the box was wide open, and the DVDs were, and the DVD, Blu-rays, whatever, were stacked neatly on my desk here, my the computer desk. And I asked my wife, I said, "Why did you empty the box?" She's like, "I never did that." Okay, so nobody's been in the house. Who did it? And I'm like, okay, interesting. Last night, the light turned on by itself in here. Again, it does it quite often. No, no explanation, no reason. Like I've tried to recreate it. Recreation is the main thing to do. I mean, if you can recreate it, then obviously you can explain it. But I can't explain it. I can't recreate it. It's weird. Like weird things like that have happened. So is it the box? I'm kind of thinking maybe it is a haunted object. And a lot of people will, again, there's another segment of people will make literally tons of money on things that they will claim are haunted objects. I mean, you see haunted object museums all over the place. You see them on eBay. People like literally charging hundreds upon thousands of dollars. Oh, look, I have a haunted doll or some rock that I found in the middle of nowhere, and ever since I brought it home, it's nothing but chaos. There's always these weird little stories. If that's the case, anything and everything could be haunted, right? Did you ever happen? Yeah, that seems to be a common occurrence. I hear about that all the time, Night Owl. I hear that quite often. Let's put it up so people. I I've had that happen a couple times. I mean, how do you explain it? It's hard. I mean, is it maybe for some odd reason? I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, we do have our frequency. We are electrical impulse sort of beings. I mean, we do carry electric static. I mean, does is it enough to cause something like that? I don't know. But then it'd be doing it all the time to everybody who passed underneath it, wouldn't it? I don't know. How do you explain it? You can't. I mean, I'm sure science has an explanation, but if it does, I haven't heard it. But yeah, I've heard that quite often. Strange phenomena. I mean, you hear this all the time. These strange little phenomena that people experience, and it's not just them; it's others that kind of experience those phenomena as well, and that being one of them. How do you explain them? Again, but the problem is you try to explain it, right? You make sense and you try to explain it. Most people will say, "Oh my god, that's paranormal. That's paranormal. Oh my god." And we'll run away with it and create paranormal chaos. People do that. People do that. They really do. I can't tell you, especially here on YouTube. There's a lot of people that will go, "Oh my god," you know. But hey, to me, it's entertaining. It's entertainment, and hey, people do it. Unfortunately, people do it. I wouldn't say unfortunately. Unfortunate that we do have that kind of entertainment, if you will. I mean, I know I've been a part of TV shows that sort of entertain the paranormal. Hey, Rochelle, how are you? That entertain inquisitive minds into the paranormal. And I don't regret doing them. I don't. I mean, I enjoyed doing them, and I did have a say with the producers of these shows. I will go to a certain point and that's it. I don't want to fake and I don't want to lie, right? I don't. I don't mind entertaining. I don't mind fluffing things up a bit and saying, "Oh my God," that's fine. But I don't want to say, "Oh, look, I got a ghost. I got the paranormal. I've got proof." No, I'm not going to lie about that because I don't know. You don't know. How do we know? We don't know. We just don't know. We don't know. I mean, what we do know is that we had an unusual phenomenon happen. Okay, be responsible. Try to explain it within any means possible. Try to recreate it if you can. If none of these are possible, then okay, say, okay, possibly that I've got something unusual that could be paranormal. Get it peer reviewed. I mean, look, get people who are in the know with certain things, tools or audio or visual, whatever, and get what see what they say. An audio engineer or a videographer or whatever. These people that are trained in an area that you're supposable or not supposedly, but what you're using, like if it's video or if it's audio, get a professional opinion. Somebody who's trained, who knows about all the little phenomena that can happen within audio recordings or audio frequencies, blah, 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 or visual. Same thing with video or film. People don't do that. Why would they do that? Why would they do the responsible thing? It's boring. Why would I want to do that? I don't want to do that. It's not worth it for me to do that. It's no more fun. It's no fun. I don't want to do it anymore. And you have to be, Rochelle. Wholeheartedly, you have to be a skeptical believer. I do believe things are going on. I absolutely do. I've experienced things that I can't explain that science really, to this day, I can't explain, at least to my knowledge. But you have to be responsible when you're sharing something that might be, you know, unique or very intriguing and quite possibly paranormal phenomena. Do the right thing. Share it with people who quite possibly could give you a multidimensional sort of explanation. And if they say, "Oh, I've never had this is definitely a phenomenon I've never experienced before," then okay, we might have something. So, yeah. Anyways, we read it down that way. Let's kind of bring it back. Yes, autumn. Again, the belief is again when you're talking about the paranormal is that veil opens up a little bit, and that sort of widens up and more activity happens this time of the year. Why is that? Why is it that people seem to think that there's more activity this time of the year or, you know, autumn? Why? Is it the fact that, you know, we're going into the death season? Things are dying. Things are dying. Things die all the time. All the time. right? Things die all the time. There isn't a particular season where things die more than any other thing. Well, okay, fine, trees, the environment, you know, harvest, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that adds to the dying. But I mean, in terms of, people dying, animals dying, there's no given time. As far as I know, that more die, what a season where more die than any other season, So why is is this the veil thinning and that sort of portal is opening up more and it's revealing more into that otherly world, if you will. What a otherly world? Is there a parallel universe? Quite possible. We don't know. I mean, we do know that they've been able to prove that there's a multiverse, that we do live in a multiverse. I mean, when you look at four dimensions, we can't even conceive that yet right now. Even when we try to explain what the fourth dimension's like, it's like, oh, what? I don't get it. Oh, fuck, that's too much for me to understand right now. You know, we perceive the third dimension up to the third dimension. I mean, everything is pretty much three dimensional. Perception is three dimensional for us right now. Now, just imagine if we're able to perceive the fourth dimension. What do we need to do to perceive the fourth dimension? Is that the multi universe that they're talking about, the fourth dimension? Who knows? Is that the parallel universe? Who knows? We don't know. These are theories, right? Theories. Yes, we're trying to explain. We're trying to understand the fourth dimension. And there are people, whiz people. I mean, people that have brains the size of New York City that can explain. What's the name of that horror movie you recommended? Which one? Oh my god. Oddity. Oddity. Yeah, Long Legs is pretty cool. I liked it. But Oddity, check out Oddity. I really enjoyed that one. That one I definitely I think is one of the better ones. And again, if you're a fan, if you're a fan of like Amicus Horror or Hammer Horror or whatever, the classic British horror, then I really do recommend Oddity. I think it kind of gives you that sort of nostalgic sort of feel from the 70s into the early 80s kind of horror, Amicus horror, Hammer sort of feel. I do highly recommend checking it out. Really, really cool movie. I thought it was going to poop out, but it actually was really cool. Really cool. Really, really enjoyed it. In fact, I'd probably watch it again. I know. I'm going to watch it. We're going to show it during the horror fest in October. That's one of the movies that's going to be shown. Oddity. But yeah, Long Legs is pretty good. I love the camera angles. The camera angles are very unique and add a really cool sort of uniqueness to the movie. And of course, hey, Nicolas Cage, when he gets into these movies now, he gets into character like literally, you can't go wrong. So, yeah. Um Another movie I would recommend, let me just pull it up here. I don't want to. I'm not going to play it because if I play it, I'm going to get dung. Stupid. Uh, let's see. Oh, hold on. That's stupid. They have the trailers on YouTube already, and you play it almost. Well, you're going to get dung for that. It's just stupid. Stupid. Really stupid. Yes, stupid. I say that's stupid. What is it? Stupidness. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna, yeah. In a Violent Nature is another movie that's going to be shown at the Horror Fest in October. In a Violent Nature is kind of gives you the vibes, like, again, like a retro sort of slasher, if you will, like, back in the day with the old Friday the 13th. But but kind of artistic, though. Very artistic. I really like the camera work, the camera angles. Again, the camera work is incredibly well done. Um, it's not POV, but you really see the killer from his perspective, but not POV. It's really neat, the camera work, and I really did enjoy the movie. I think, yeah, in a Violent Nature, which is pretty cool. You know, and a lot of people say, well, it's like it's Friday the 13th. It's not Friday the 13th. It kind of gives you that feel, but like I said, it's artistic. It's very artistic. I love the camera work and everything else. But yeah, Steve, the movie I highly recommend is Oddity. Really good movie. Awesome movie. You know, really cool. Let's see. Where'd it go? So, okay. Fourth episode coming out soon. I'm currently working on it, editing it. In fact, I'll probably have it finished off today. A lot of footage to go through, and there's this episode is going to be a lot, probably a little longer. I don't want to make it too much longer because the tension span is about 20 minutes for most. Some people it's like 10 minutes, if you're like, or 10 seconds, and that's it. They don't like the first 10 seconds, they're gone. But this one, yeah, this episode is probably going to be about 30 minutes in total. 35 minutes in total, with the usual additional footage after the rolling credits. And again, things are shifting into a, more of a cooler sort of atmosphere, into a winter like climate, if you will. So things seem to be coming out of the woodwork a little bit, and I've got a little teaser, I guess I'll play. It's just a small little teaser, right? I mean, again, let's see. Let me see if I can. I'll pull it up here. Hold on. Where are we? I'm not going to play the one on YouTube because the one on YouTube is framed incorrectly, just because of their shorts. I put it in as a short, so let's see. Let's see. Okay. No, that's not good. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So I'll share it. So this is the full teaser, if you will. It's short. It's small. It's just a little smidge. And let's just bring this up. And here we go.
Give us a sign if you want us to leave. We will respect that. Anyone? Feeling anything in it? I don't know. I would have thought maybe we got connection. But there's nothing. No wind. No nothing. It's quiet before the storm. Alex and I were feeling that something good was going to happen.
What's that?
Alex and I had a feeling something good was going to happen.
Could be. Could be.
Let's see what the future holds.
So what storm could possibly be coming to the woodlot? Gonna have to find out. Yes, fourth episode coming out soon. Probably, if I'm calculating properly. Yes, I'm looking forward to Terrifier 3, Tim. I'm looking forward to that. That is going to be awesome. I love Terrifier. As stupid as they really are, they're fucking entertaining. Art the Clown is amazing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to 3. And I love how they're like pushing it almost like a Christmas movie. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be pretty cool. Art the Clown. You can't go wrong. That's coming out October 16th, I believe. October 16th, something like theaters only. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But anyways, fourth episode could be this Thursday. This Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11:30 UK time this Thursday. I'm hoping, like I said, I should have it finished. Like I said, I'm really giving this one a once over a lot more than say the last 3 episodes. The last episode 3 was kind of a filler, kind of like just adding and sort of filling some of the holes that were in the first 2 episodes, and sort of kind of trying to push the narrative forward a little bit. But the fourth hopefully will kind of give you some a little bit more, because there's a lot of audio tidbits that I have not included in the first 3 episodes that will probably be included or somewhat a part of the fourth episode. A lot of audio stuff that just doesn't make any sense. What is going on? What is going on in that little dark woodlot? Something, but what? It's just fucking insane. I mean, we call Alex the paranormal or the ghost to turn, if you will. Nothing ever happens when Alex is around, but that's not true. That's what he wants you to make. Well, he wants you to make you believe that's true, but it's not. Shit does happen when Alex is around. He's just, I don't know. I think he's numb to it, but shit does happen when Alex is around, and you're gonna see in the fourth episode, shit does happen. What happens? It may be subtle, but it happens when Alex is there. Yeah, kryptonite. Yeah. It's like, yeah, damn, nothing's happening. Damn you, Alex. And he's probably watching, so pipe in there, Alex. In chat. But it's hey Louise, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, it's intriguing. Like I said, we're going to be shooting probably the last 3 episodes of the series this coming October, because like I said, the location is on its last legs. quite possibly on its last legs this fall. So, yeah, we're gonna have to get as much as possible in there before then, because, like I said, it looks like they're going to be development on the land very soon. Like I said, there's surveyors on the land right now, and it looks like a good portion. And I don't know for sure, but it looks like a good portion of the woodlot area that we have been so thankfully been able to investigate and bring you these episodes could possibly be dozed down, gone forever, and developed, which sucks. It sucks, but shit like this happens, and it's like, why do you need to destroy such a beautiful plot of land? Leave it alone. Yes, leave it alone. All in the name of what? Though, don't come to me. If you build houses on there and those houses become fucking haunted, well, call me. You never know, right? So, does it stem into this little box here being haunted? Who knows? Something about this land bringing the best out in this little box of mine that I so call haunted little object. Who knows? Are they coercing? Who knows? Playing those little games. Is it the box or is it the land? Who knows? Who knows? But again, like, you know me, guys, I report everything that happens in this studio. I report everything that happens in the studio, and quite a lot has happened over the years. Like this door that's opening up on me. I have reported on the show over the years the things that happen, and I wish I had that light. I have it packed away still. I think. Give me a sec. I will be right back. I'm finding this little object. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. All right. Hey, back. Hey, Adrian, how are you? Okay, so literally, hold on, let me pull this up here. So literally, going back to the incidents that have happened in this studio over the years. One of the craziest things, well, I shouldn't say one of the craziest things that have happened here. But one thing that has happened here, and I think I showed you guys this before. And there's this little Pelican LED lapel sort of light, and this thing wasn't working for years. Like, I mean, literally was not working. The battery in it was dead. Whatever. It would not work. And like now I've got it. Look, see, it's working now. See, there you go. Like Mothman. But it's working, right? So, but when I did this before, the lights wouldn't come on. So, and I used to have it on the desk up here, and just sitting there, sitting there, sitting there, sitting there. And then one day, one evening, we came home, and literally, it was on the desk. It was like this, sitting on the desk like that, just sitting on the desk like that, open, and the lights on, right? And as you can see, you literally have to pry it open. It can't. It just doesn't open by itself. It can't open by itself. And I'm like, what the hell? What the? It doesn't make sense. Why is it on? It hasn't worked in years. And then, so I went, closed it, right? And as you can see inside, there's a little push button and the indentation that shuts it off, right? So I shut it off. I shut it off, and then I opened it up again, and it wouldn't come on. The light wasn't working. I'm like, this does not make sense. I have since put in a new battery, right? I've since put a new battery in this, but like I said, what the hell? It wasn't working for years because the battery was dead. It was dead. And yet the one night we came home, and it was sitting on my desk here like this, right? Like that, on. And then, like I said, I closed it, opened it up again. It wouldn't come. It wouldn't come on because the battery was dead. What in the hell? Explain to me how that happens. How does that happen? Shit like that. This happened in this room where all this other shit has happened. All this other shit has happened here. Right? Explain to me. Right? Explain to me. Okay, so here's another thing. We were away for a week on vacation. We came home. Hold on, I need a drink of water. We came home, and when we got home, we're unpacking and so on and so on. Closed the door, and then within minutes, somebody rang our doorbell. So I went, opened the door, and it's our neighbor. And our neighbor's like, "Are you guys just getting home now?" And I'm like, yeah, we just got in the door. We were away for a week. Oh, you weren't home last night? No, we weren't home last night. Are you Yeah, I'm sure. We just got in the door now. We just got home now. We just got home. Why? What's going on? Because I had to send my husband over here. It sounded like there was a huge party going on in your house. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There was nobody here. Nobody. Are you sure? I'm absolutely sure there was nobody here. Nobody. Well, the music was so loud; it was bouncing off the fucking walls in our house, and and I go, really? Okay, but it doesn't make any sense. Are you sure it wasn't from somewhere else? No, it was coming from your house. It couldn't have. There was nobody here. And when we go away, I'll usually like unplug shit. Just because we're not using it, and you never know, fires, blah blah blah. I just unplug stuff. Stereo equipment, blah blah blah. It's just because. Hey, Kevin, yeah, exactly. The boogeyman. Boogie. Let's get down to boogie. Exactly. And I'm like, there was nobody here. And, I had to make sure my nieces they didn't come over to check on the house or anything like that. No, nobody came to check on the house. The doors were locked, you know? Exactly. Literally the boogeyman. And my neighbors were so fucking spooked out. I mean, hey, that's just a normality here. We're used to that shit. It's not the first time my wife said, you brought something home with you from one of your investigations." Not surprised, but isn't that weird though? I mean, seriously, that's weird. I mean, I couldn't explain it. It didn't make any sense because, like I said, everything, my stereo, anything that would make that loud of music was unplugged. It was unplugged. I checked everything. It's just nothing was magically plugged back in. Nothing. Everything was still unplugged. And if there was somebody in the house who was mysteriously visiting, oops, I forgot to unplug things. That's usually the course of things, isn't it? That's where you think, oh, hey, somebody was in the house because the fucking shit's plugged in again. But no, everything was unplugged. Maybe they were smart and unplugged it, but seriously. So it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense, and it still doesn't make sense. But they swear. I'm like, were there any lights on in the house? No lights. It was dark. My husband was knocking and ringing the doorbell, and I could hear the music. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to say. I must apologize for my ghosts. What do you want me to say? I can't control them. They're not actors. They don't act on cue. What do you want me to do? Yeah. But yeah, things like that have happened here. And I mean, this house is not old. It's probably it's 20 years old now. Yeah, 20 years old. At 20 years, it was 20 years this July, actually. This house is 20 years old. But it's not necessarily the house. Is it the land? And like I said, it's prompted me to kind of look into the history of the land and the things that were here before this development over the course of its history. And like I said, that led me into the woodlot, which is just right not far from here on the same, pretty much the same plot of land. Once I did my research and I looked and I saw, and it was kind of weird. Like I said, there was this little post online in an old forum from this guy. And we're talking about an old web crawler geo message board site from like the late 1990s, early 2000s. And I was searching, location, paranormal, blah blah blah, and it just mysteriously came up. I mean, I had to look a little bit more into it, and I found it, and I started reading it. And it's this guy who lived in the area, who was on his way home from work at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and he was driving along one of the roads the woodlot is located on. And this is back in the, we're talking, I think the 70s. I think he said it was like 1978, 79, somewhere around there. And, he's driving along this road. And back then, there was farms. There was a few farms on the land, but not in that direct area where he was driving. It was raining out, and he's driving. He's not driving fast, and this is dark, you know, and he just sees this woman, walking along the one side of the road, like the passenger side of the car, and he sees on the edge of the road this and back then it was kind of like an old service road, and he sees this woman walking aimlessly, and she's like in this nightie, like this long gray sort of nightie, and she's walking along the edge of this cornfield. And he's like, okay, she looks like she's in distress. Is there something wrong? Like, why is she out walking in the rain like this? It's not normal. So he pulls over, turns off his car, gets out of the car, and he goes, "Ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay?" And she kind of turned and looked at him, acknowledged him. And of course, it's raining and raining, it's not a heavy rain, but light rain. And, he's like, and all, he starts walking around, onto the edge of the road, and close to the edge of the cornfield. And she was just up ahead, and she turns around and walks into the cornfield. So he goes in after her, and she completely disappears. Completely disappears. He looks around, searches, he can't find anything. And he's not going to go that far in because he might get lost. Whatever. But there's no way she could have got that far in without him seeing her. So, anyways, goes back to his car, goes home, and probably doesn't ever think about it again. Maybe if somebody said, "Hey," in a conversation, or anything ever weird happened to you, and that comes up. And I guess he posted on this geo site or whatever the hell message board years later about the experience, and I happened to read it. Then I looked a little bit more into the land, and it turns out that there used to be a farm there in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, and I think it was abandoned in the 50s, and it was then torn down in the 50s, 60s, something like that. There's like literally no remnants of it now because they plowed the land, but they were still, planting the crops, right? Rotating, like I said, corn, soybean, corn, soybean. And so anyways, it turns out that there was a news article about a woman who, with her husband, who owned this farm. They were out tending to, there was a storm, and they were out tending to the cattle to make sure all the cattle were brought in and put in the stable sort of area. They got them all in there. And then all of a sudden, on their way back to the house, The woman was struck and killed by lightning. Now, bells going off. Could this be a link? Could this possibly be that woman the guy saw years later in the late 70s? Could it be the same woman? Is that woman now haunting that woodlot? Is that woman aimlessly roaming the land? Is it residual to the land, the echo to the land? And this is what prompted me to start the Dark Woodlot. And this is the premise behind the Dark Woodlot. And if you've seen the first episode, did Gordon myself see that woman? Did Gordon myself see that woman? Dr. Demon Gordon, did we see that woman? We saw something in that direct area. Was it that same woman? Was it? We don't know. Because it happened so fast. And when we got close enough, there was nothing there anymore. But we both witnessed something that kind of sparked. That could have been the woman in gray. That woman. Who knows? Who knows? And so, anyways, this is what we're aiming to kind of bring to light and show you guys what could possibly be happening in this woodlot. Why the woodlot, not the land outside the woodlot? Because something tells us that it's whatever's happening is happening throughout the woodlot. It's echoing. It's residual to the woodlot now because there's nothing left other than that woodlot. Nothing left. And now the remnants of stuff that used to be there during COVID, up until COVID, and then shortly after COVID, the lockdowns. They went in there and they cleaned up the land. Some company, I guess, cleaned it up and got it ready to be sold off to the city. So there was mounds of tires everywhere, old used tires from the 50s. Because there used to be an old mechanic, old tire shop, house left on that land that they dozed down. And they cleared it up. What was left there, they cleared it up. All the tires are now gone. Mysteriously, why did they get rid of the tires? Why? Why was it necessary to get rid of those tires in the woodlot? Like there was mounds of them spread out throughout the woodlot. Why did they get rid of them? Nobody could see them. They're inside the woods. They were hidden. And another aspect of this was, randonaut. I'm sure a few of you people know about randonauting, geocaching, if you will. I'm bringing you to points that are very rarely visited, unusual points. And it's funny because when I was doing randonauting, it pointed me to a certain area of this woodlot, which again brought up more questions. Why? And it brought me right to the discovery of one of those mounds of tires inside the woodlot, which I had never seen before. And then, okay, I've got to explore this a little bit more. This is really unusual. And as I explored the woodlot during the day, I noticed more tires spread around throughout the woods, but only in certain areas. There was probably about three areas within that woodlot that had mounds of tires. And you saw some of them here. Again, I will bring it up again. I will show you once again an example of it. Okay, let me just, for those who didn't see it the first time. But I will show you. This is footage of some of the remnants of one of the piles of old tires. Chat is awfully quiet. Who's in chat beside Rochelle? Who's with us? Say hi. Say something. Chat is awfully quiet. Okay, so here you go. Let me just again. So there you go. There you go. So there you go. So, see, they're these old, and a lot of them are truck tires, big ass truck tires. But these are now gone. Somebody was hired. Somebody was hired to go in and clean these tires up. Why? Because they wanted to make it look like that it was environmentally friendly. Why? Why were they cleaned up? Why? Why was it necessary to clean up those tires that have been there for probably 20, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years? God knows how long they were there for. Because as you could see, they had moss on them. I mean, it takes a lot for moss to grow on rubber. They've been there for a long time. And I mean, yeah, obviously people will tell you, old tires are a hazard to the environment, right? So why did they clean them up? Why did they feel it necessary to get rid of those tires? I mean, yeah, you have surveyors on the land now, but I mean, and they have surveyed inside the woodlot. I mean, you see the markings, you see the wells that they put in there to test the levels, and so on and so on inside the woodlot. But why is it necessary for them to clean up all those tires? Why? Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not like you're in there buying it now, anyways. Nobody's buying it. There's no nothing planned as far as I know, other than the land being surveyed. I mean, you're hearing there's rumors as far as I know about mixed low income and commercial use, residential and commercial use. But that's just rumors right now as to what they want to do with the land. I mean, it's big. It's a huge plot of land, massive plot of land, and they could sell. I mean, they could probably house a lot of people on the one side. Sure, it is, but I mean, they're really not surveying that area of the land, though. It just, yeah, okay, fine, yeah, makes sense. Cle- I mean, it's evident that they wanted to clean it up. There's most certainly it's evident that they need to clean it up. Don't I know? But we have to cover every potential reasoning, right? I mean, we do, and yeah, but those things laid there for years, years. And let me tell you another intriguing thing about that land. The people who owned it, who had owned it for since the 70s, I believe, since the 70s, they have a very nefarious background. Now, I'm not going to go into details because you never know, but they have ties to some dark underground shit. And they've held off selling that land. I do believe they had a 20-year lease on the land from the city or whatever, the government that owned the land. And they've only allowed development once on that land, and that was a school. They put a school there. A school. And of course, housing over across the other side of the creek. There's a creek that runs through the woodlot. So this dark background, let's kind of fray a little bit off here. It's obviously a dumping ground, right? Tires. What else were dumped there over the years? What else do you think? Bodies? Do you think quite possibly there might be bodies dumped there? People, yeah. With the kind of background these people have or have thought to have had. Ties. And again, I'm not going to get into details on that because I don't want to, you know, make, you know, any worse than it was. I might disappear. But anyways, who knows? I mean, it's quite possible. And with this new episode coming up, do we find something that might kind of indicate that might be a possibility? You never know. You never know. And in fact, something that we found, we had to get the authorities involved. We had to get the authorities involved. in something. Hey, Valve. Velez. 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 What's up? Yeah, I mean, and so, yeah, it makes you kind of wonder, right? Makes you kind of wonder. Makes you kind of wonder what could possibly have gone on that land for 40 years. Scary, scary, isn't it? The possibilities. How many piles of tires? Well, literally, we found three, four piles of tires. Huge, huge. In fact, one of the piles was scattered around a water hole, like a little pondage, if you will. Uh, and we have dug. We have dug. We did, in fact, if you notice, in one of them, we found an old rock mound. An old rock mound. Now, was it a farmer clearing the land of the rocks? I mean, they do tend to do that. They will clear the land of any rocks and pile them up along the sort of the edge of the forest, if you will, the edge of the crop line, if you will. And but what was weird about this rock mound was literally in the middle of the forest. It wasn't anywhere close to the edge of the forest or the crop line. Exactly. Exactly, Rochelle. Is it a grave? Is it a possible grave? So we did dig, but unfortunately, we didn't have the proper tools, and it was in the winter, so not the winter, but late, and the ground was hardening up a little bit, so it was really hard to make it past a lot of the rocks. Is that something that might happen, though? Is that rock mound a grave? Is the question. Is the question that we brought up in episode 2. Is it? Is it? Is it something that we're going to revisit and unearth? Keep your eyes peeled to the later episodes. Like I said, not happening in episode 4. Again, could possibly be happening with the next episodes that we shoot this fall. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in that little place. I mean, it's not huge. It's not a huge place, but holy crap, there's been a lot of weird shit going on in there. Everything from a mysterious wailing, just this blood curdling wailing, like a woman wailing or something in grief, possibly. Who the hell knows? And odd little noises that kind of make you wonder, okay, how is this happening in a forest? This doesn't make sense. Like, hold on, let me just see. No tents, no, nothing, nothing. And I've scoured the outer portions of the woodlot, along the creek, everywhere. There's just absolutely nothing in this place that would, indicate that there was others in there. None. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I'll pull up some odd little noises to give you guys a kind of idea what I'm kind of what we were up against. Um, uh, some of them are comedic too, but okay, hold on. I'm just pulling them up. And there's so much chatter. Very, very, very. Uh, let's see. There's just so many. Let me just. I'm just going through them, and I'm gonna just familiarizing myself with them again. Where are we? Some of them are just blood curdling. And they just don't make sense because they're not us. A lot of them are just really subtle. Okay. This one's just eerie. Like, listen to this. Like, listen to this one here. Listen. Load this up. Uh, you know, it doesn't make sense. There's nobody there. Nobody there. To me, what's it sound like that person is saying to you? Well, what's it sound like to you? Tell me. I don't want to give it away right away. I want to hear what you guys think it says. Here, I'll play it again. Yeah, I mean, you kind of like Rochelle. I think you're kind of close. Like it's like he can't make it. He can't make it, or yeah, you can't make me. It kind of down that alley, you know. And you hear something before he kind of. It's like he's answering somebody else, and you kind of faintly hear that somebody else, but you can't really make out what they're saying. I'll play it one more time, and then I'll. You know, you kind of hear something before he answers, right? You hear like that, and then you hear something very faint, another almost like another person saying, and then all of a sudden that answer, he can't make me, or he can't make it. Um, yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, exactly, Rochelle. Something like that. But again, there's nothing there. Nothing there. You heard how basically you hear how loud. I mean, it's right there almost, right? Within the distance. And there's really nothing going on that close. That close. There's we would have heard that. We would have heard that real time. We did not hear that. Right, here's another one. This is hold on. I think it's 3. Where is it? Where did it go down here? And this one's kind of eerie. I'm trying to find the uncleaned. So this is like the noise reduced. Just the background noise reduced, and because we hear this it sounds like a female voice saying something, and it's just so odd. And again, I'll leave it up to you guys. Like I said, again, I'll find the unclean, the actual the actual clip, but this is the noise reduced, like the background noise reduced, and centering in on the speech, or the woman's voice, if you will. And it's very eerie, very like haunting. But here you go. Like it's hard to make out what's being said, but something's being said, and it's just very, very faint and creepy, kind of like, what is this? Let's see, hold on. Again, it's hard to make out, but there, it's very there. It's so there. It's just so crazy there. Okay, so I got the wailing that we heard, and again, it's not. Okay, so here's one of the wailing, and again, it's kind of hard because you hear me reacting to it afterwards, but listen to before I react to it, you'll hear it. And this is something that we really, I don't want to say it was a constant, but it was happening quite a bit, especially the one night we were there. It was happening. It was just really eerie. And again, These recordings, Louise, are from the dark woodlot. This is from the woodlot where the episodes are filmed at. A lot of these haven't included in the document or the episodes, if you will. This was actually supposed to be like a documentary, and because there's so much footage and so much everything else that we decided to make it into like a web series, if you will. But anyways, let's see. Did I see this again is what we are hearing, especially the one night. And again, listen to just before I react is when it is the critical sort of area to listen to. I have some more samples, but this one, listen. This is very, very listen.
Out. You hear that? Guys. 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 Out. You hear that?
Like, are you hearing that wailing just before? Let me just see if I can. Yeah, hold on. No, I think they're all the same. Oh, here. This is blood curdling. Again, this is, this. There's no wind. Absolutely no wind. None. And it wouldn't sound like this. It's just so weird. Listen to this. This is again. This is another sample of the whale. And we were hearing this real time. We were hearing this stuff real time. That's probably the best sample of the wailing, whatever that we were hearing, especially that one night. And we were, like I said, we were hearing this real time, and I was really having a hard time, going through the audio and trying to find a really good sample of it because for some reason the audio wasn't really capturing it very well, except for there it captured it. And literally that's what you're hearing. What you're hearing is what we heard. We heard that real time there. Yeah, is the lady in gray screaming? Is it her? Is it the woman that died while she was struck by lightning? Who knows? But this is what I mean. This is what we were encountering in that little woodlot. And again, why the woodlot? Why not outside in the field? I mean, shit happened outside in the field, but in the woodlot, there's a lot of crap going on. A lot of crap going on. And this is why. Hey, Stephen, how are you? This is why. Why? There's just so much. Let me just see. Hold on. And these are just samples of audio that we've been extracted so far. Let's just see. Uh, what's this one? I'm trying to track it down. I'm still going. There was one evening that we were in there. We were in there, and you could literally hear knocking on the trees, like knocking. It was really really weird. Like literally, somebody had a tree branch or something, or a rock, and they were like literally knocking on the trees, literally. And I got to find the audio for that. And I don't know if we had any, if we were shooting video at the time when we heard that, but there's certainly some audio. And just these oddities that just didn't make any sense that were happening, and a lot of them very subtle, very very subtle. That again sort of heightens the intrigue of this. But yeah, you definitely hear. Um, I'll play it again. I'll play this. It just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense because there's absolutely no wind. And like I said, you'd constantly hear it if there was wind. There was no wind that night. It was dead silent. It was dead. It was just dead. Right. And then, like I said, we constantly heard what you heard there playing out right there within the woodlot, within that, com- the boundaries of this small little area. Baffling because it just doesn't make any sense. But again, when you look at the background, the history of this place, and I'm going to say there's a lot of nefarious sort of aspects to the people who owned the woodlot, who owned it since the mid 70s into just last year, I believe they had to give it up. They sold it to the city. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if they did start developing on the land that they're going to find stuff that makes them halt, development. Halt. They're going to have to halt things. I really do believe there's something there. I really do believe something is hiding. And when they do find it, they're not going to be able to develop. They won't be able to, because then things will become an investigation of sorts. I do really believe that there's some secrets that woodlot holds and is telling us also subtly but slowly the truth, the information is coming out. And I really do believe that's why they held out selling this, land for so long. And they kind of had to. I think they fought to control the land, but they lost, from what I understand. So they had to sell the land to the city. Now, again, I don't know the full details because I don't think anybody knows the full details other than the city. And of course, they're not going to divulge that kind of information as to why. They'll just simply say, well, just, they had a 25-year lease on the land, and, they weren't able to renew it or whatever, some bullshit story. That's usually the way it goes, right? I mean, yeah. Anyhow. All right. I think that's about it for now, guys. I'm going to end this. But you know what? Again, this Sunday, season 17 kicks off with, um, you know, another season. I mean, come on. We got some cool shit going on. Cool shit, guests coming on, you know. Uh, and like I said, we've got Dustin Wade coming on, kicking off the new season of the Wade Manor. September 22nd, you got Steve Higgins coming on. Steve Higgins is the guy behind, the writer behind the Paranormal Encyclopedia, which was just released. Thorough encyclopedia on the paranormal, terminology, tools, experiences, all sorts of stuff. This thing has it all. From a skeptical sort of standpoint, but giving you terminology of stuff within the paranormal that many people don't know about or haven't got a clue, never heard before. You're going to hear it now. It's in this book. Steve Higgins will be on the show September 22nd to talk about that and other stuff. He's got some other stuff. So looking forward to have Steve on. He's a first time guest, guys. First time to the show. We obviously have returning guests coming as they come in. Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. And again, possibly this Thursday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m. UK time, the 4th episode of The Dark Woodlot will drop. Hopefully, if all goes as planned, it will be here this Thursday night. So keep checking out for updates, notifications, turn them on. Like, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please like and leave your comments, guys. Comments are welcome. You guys are quiet. Leave some comments in the comment section. Until for sure this Sunday night. Take care, guys, and we'll see you soon. Later.